Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that plays a role in motivation, pleasure, and reward-driven behavior. Here are some key points about dopamine and dopamine detox. Dopamine is released when we anticipate or experience something pleasurable, like eating, sex, or getting rewards. It reinforces behaviors that give us pleasure or a dopamine hit. Over time, we can become addicted to these dopamine spikes and constantly seek out things that give us that feeling. This can lead to compulsive behaviors and poor self-control. A dopamine detox involves temporarily limiting behaviors that trigger large dopamine releases. This might include reducing time on social media, avoiding sugary, fatty foods, decreasing screen time, etc. The goal is to reset and rebalance your dopamine response. Taking a break from constant dopamine spikes can increase your sensitivity and enjoyment of smaller pleasures. Detoxing may improve focus, motivation, mood, and self-discipline. However, it takes willpower as you withdraw from habitual behaviors that gave short-term gratification. Dopamine is not inherently bad, it's an important neurotransmitter. But being aware of dopamine's role in addiction and seeking balance is considered healthy. Moderation and mindfulness around dopamine-triggering behaviors is key. Dopamine addiction can happen to anyone. Michael Phelps, the Olympic gold medal swimmer, struggled with alcohol and drug addiction early in his career. He went to rehab and implemented lifestyle changes to manage his addiction tendencies. Phelps became the most decorated Olympian ever through disciplined training. Ronnie O'Sullivan is seen as the greatest player ever to have played snooker. In his autobiography, Ronnie O'Sullivan admits he used marijuana, cocaine, alcohol and prescription drugs to deal with depression and the pressure of being a top snooker player. His partying lifestyle provided short-term dopamine rushes. His addictions caused erratic behavior, like withdrawing from tournaments last minute. He took long breaks from snooker, his ranking plummeted at times, and he considered retiring early. Rock bottom. In 2006, after the death of his father who had helped ground him, O'Sullivan had a complete mental breakdown. He refused to play, was hospitalized, and realized he needed to overcome his demons. Seeking help, he checked into rehab clinics to get clean. He began taking medication and therapy for depression. He surrounded himself with supportive friends and family who held him accountable. Here are a few key ways that a dopamine detox can improve focus and lower stress levels. Reduce constant distractions. Things like social media, games, and videos provide short spikes of dopamine but can also be constant sources of distraction that fragment focus. Reducing these distractions can improve your ability to focus for longer periods. Builds delayed gratification. Detoxing trains your brain to get used to not getting constant dopamine hits from quick pleasures. This strengthens self-control and the ability to delay gratification, which underpins focus. Lowers addiction tendencies. Compulsive behaviors around dopamine spiking activities tend to heighten stress and anxiety. Reducing them can reduce those nervous impulses. Improves concentration skills. With fewer distractions and more self-control, you can better direct focus and avoid distractions. Your overall concentration skills can improve with practice during a detox. Promotes mindfulness. Not reacting instantly to every dopamine craving creates more mindfulness of your own behaviors. This helps manage stress. Enhances intrinsic motivation. Over time, you may gain more motivation through quieter means like meaning, challenge, and skill building rather than chasing extrinsic dopamine highs. Lets the brain rebalance. Lowering extreme dopamine responses can calm the brain overall and put it into a less frenetic and more focused state. The benefits tend to compound over time. At first it takes real willpower, but then the improved focus and emotional balance gains momentum if you stick to the detox plan. Your brain can reset to a calmer, more focused baseline state. In summary, dopamine plays a key role in pleasure and addiction. A structured detox can help reset dopamine balance and sensitivity in the brain, improving mental health and discipline. But it requires temporarily limiting rewarding behaviors that provide short-term gratification but may be imbalanced. Here are 7 key steps to take to reduce or recover from dopamine addiction. 1. Identify sources of dopamine addiction. Reflect on activities, foods, apps, etc. that seem to hook you and that you have trouble moderating. These are things that spike your dopamine levels. Common sources include social media, video games, porn, junk food, alcohol, and sugary foods.
2. Make a plan to limit exposure.
Make a specific plan on how you will restrict or eliminate these dopamine-spiking behaviors for a set period of time, usually 1-3 weeks for a dopamine detox. For example, deleting apps from your phone, avoiding certain shops and restaurants, setting screen time limits, unfollowing accounts, etc.
3. Find substitute activities.
Fill the time you would normally spend on dopamine-releasing behaviors with substitute activities that don't cause strong dopamine spikes.
Go for walks, have real conversations, read books, cook healthy meals, engage in self-care, pick up old hobbies, etc. 4. Lean on social support. Let friends and family know you are doing a dopamine detox. Their support and doing activities together makes it easier to avoid addictive behaviors. Joining online groups can also provide community and accountability. 5. Be patient with withdrawal. Expect some mood swings, stress, cravings, irritability and discomfort when first limiting addictive dopamine sources. This is temporary withdrawal. Stay strong knowing it will pass within a few days. 6. Reintroduce sources mindfully. After completing a detox, you can slowly reintroduce past sources back into your life in a mindful and intentional way, without binging. Be aware of urges and moderation. 7. Make lifestyle changes. Consider longer-term lifestyle adjustments to manage dopamine addiction, like monitoring phone use, finding healthier stress relievers, limiting social media, and adding enjoyment through life balance.